Remove the Torx bolts by turning them counterclockwise.
Turn the wheel to give yourself better access to the lining.
Remove the Torx bolts by turning them counterclockwise.
There are 4 bolts that need to be removed.
If you are able to just pull back the liner here and reach up and access the bulb, you can theoretically access the headlight and the parking light this way. However, it can be quite difficult, not only taking the bulb out, but getting it back in. So if you cannot do it this way, you will have to remove the bumper and remove the headlight housing.
Remove the Torx bolt by turning it counterclockwise.
There's still one more bolt that needs to be removed.
Remove the bolt by turning it counterclockwise.
Turn the wheel to give yourself better access to the lining.
Remove the Torx bolts by turning them counterclockwise.
Pull away the wheel well lining for access.
Remove the Torx bolt by turning it counterclockwise.
There's still one more bolt that needs to be removed.
Remove the bolt by turning it counterclockwise.
And we're going to have to come underneath here, last step. All along kind of the ridge here, you have a bunch of T25s underneath the car that you have to take out.
Remove the Torx bolts by turning them counterclockwise.
There are 9 bolts that need to be removed. Pull the bumper away from the vehicle.
Now that we have both sides off, you can just kind of lift and pull back on the bumper here. Now, be careful because there is some hoses and wiring and stuff still attached here, but essentially what you can do is just kind of set the bumper on the ground like so, and that's going to give you access to what you need.
Remove the Torx bolts by turning them counterclockwise.
There's still one more bolt that needs to be removed.
This bolt you only need to loosen. You do not need to take this bolt all the way out. Just loosen it enough so that when you go to take the headlight housing out, that is loose enough to pull the housing out.
Remove the Torx bolts by turning them counterclockwise. Take the bulb housing out of the vehicle.
Right about on kind of this side, and then slide it out because it gets kind of caught up on this part underneath here. So just kind of lift up and wiggle here, and we should be able to get this guy out. Okay, now it's only going to come out about yay far, and you're going to have to come back here and disconnect the housing.
Remove the rubber cover by pulling it straight back. Wiggle and pull the connector to disconnect it. Remove the bulb assembly by twisting it counterclockwise.
You need to push this tab and kind of pull and take that ring off. When bringing this housing back in, this little hose attach kind of needs to go down into the engine bay. And then if you look with this kind of U-shaped area, that needs to kind of make sure that it goes in between that bolt that we loosened up that's in the wheel well liner there. So what I would recommend is kind of just get this back in here. You got to kind of put it in at an angle. I'm going to come back here then right away and attach this housing. Now, if you find that this isn't sitting properly, chances are that the bolt that it needs to sit on that's kind of in the wheel well is not lined up properly. So just reassess that and then you can get this lined up. So we'll line it up and then we're going to put these bolts back in here. With these two bolts, the longer one is going to go kind of down here. So we'll put that one down there, and then the one with the bigger washer on it is going to go up here.
It's a good idea to hand tighten the bolts before securing them to the vehicle.
Replace the bolt by turning it clockwise. Replace the bumper.
So we're going to bring this back up into place here. Kind of get it back up into place. Make sure that the sides are kind of lining up here. Everything should kind of line up pretty easily.
Align the bumper with the body before securing it to the vehicle. It's important to make sure it's set properly, otherwise it won't attach correctly. Replace the Torx bolts by turning them clockwise. Replace the Torx bolts by turning them clockwise. Replace the bolt by turning it clockwise. Replace the Torx bolt by turning it clockwise. Replace the wheel well lining. Replace the Torx bolts by turning them clockwise. Replace the bolt by turning it clockwise. Replace the Torx bolt by turning it clockwise. Replace the wheel well lining. Replace the Torx bolts by turning them clockwise.